So, Mike, you've dedicated your life in a very real sense to understanding the cybersecurity processes, understanding the threats, understanding the countermeasures, and really developing a robust capability that you have, your team has, and the role that you play in protecting the Commonwealth. Um, there's a lot of business people in this environment, and they're all striving to improve things and execute projects and programs and use software and technology to help make Virginia a better place to live, work, and raise a family. As you think about the complexity of what you do to provide cybersecurity, how do you convey that message to them so that as they're going about their work, which is really important, how do you make sure they're thinking about cybersecurity and thinking about all the facets and nuances of cybersecurity that's so critical so they don't make a mistake just out of not having awareness?
And I'll say that's probably one of the toughest parts of the job, right? I'll say it makes it easy when you've got support from the top. I know you're a large supporter of cybersecurity. We have, the governor and secretary and everybody understands the importance and how it has to be integrated into the environment. I think when we're putting these projects together, the thing I always remind is to say, if we're using technology, make sure you've got your corresponding, security technology that goes along with it. And I think, strong IT organizations and the capabilities that come along with that help us to design those well, as long as we understand what the technology that's being brought in is going to do, right? Every technology does something slightly different, right? The Apple Watches don't work the same way as our workstations, right? So we have to come up with different solutions and ways to apply those solutions to those environments. And sometimes you got to get real creative, right? Just because it's kind of like using a Swiss Army knife sometimes, right? You may use it to open a can, you may use it to, whittle a stick or, start a fire, right? It just depends on what it is. Same tool for all of it. And the idea is that, strong security folks can figure out how to creatively apply those to many different scenarios. And people get nervous about, what types of security technology it needs and how complicated it's going to be, when a lot of times we're able to actually work it out and make it, something that we already are using in the environment, or something that is not a lot of overhead to put in place. So we spend a lot of time trying to work with folks to trust that that's going to work. We're going to be able to make that happen in the process. It's like I said, it's something that's in a constant evolution, something we're constantly iterating over as people get more and more familiar. We've come a long way from even where we were a few years ago, with the integration of security into the environment, right? You go back 7 or 8 years, it way different than where we're at today.